Hey and welcome back to Kharak Cup 12. We're going to be continuing with the group stage here, but we can't quite finish off group stage B because one of the replays is missing between Descara and Blue Boo. So I'm just going to go ahead here into group C. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. So going to be Maze here, right? Playing as Coalition. I know it's Shrike, I know. And FrostyTeeth also has Coalition here, so we're going to have some CVC going on right now. Both of them with the white main color as well, but obviously Shrike here with the red trim. FrostyTeeth up in the north is going to be with the green. This series, I would say, has to probably go to Shrike. One of the players I've been most impressed with as of late is that Base Spinner retires itself there on Frosty's side. And he goes for LAV Fabrication first. Shrike, I think, has really been learning a lot as he plays, adapting really nicely, and, you know, I'm almost pretty much ready to say he's, like, the top tier now. He beat Garmulator in a 1v1 in one of his matches. Excuse me, had a little hiccup there. And another one. Going 1-1 with him, of course, in the group stage. I cast that one already. You know, he's doing just superbly well. I guess time will tell whether he's able to start, you know, beating these players in series. Not like consistently, but at least, you know, being competitive with them. But yeah, I mean, he's clearly one of the players who's improved the most in recent days, I suppose I would say. He can be going for Support Cruiser first, which is generally a pretty safe choice here. FrostyTeeth instead with that LAV aggression, we'll see what he's able to accomplish from it. And FrostyTeeth by no means a bad player, but I think he'll definitely have a pretty tough match here with Shrike. FrostyTeeth, I guess I'd say someone who previously we would tend to see would move up into the upper bracket for tournaments like this, but hasn't been there for a little while, I don't think. So I think people like Shrike and No Fun stuff starting to improve pretty nicely. But we shall see. Awesome guy too. He's done a lot of work for the community, which is quite nice to see. So it looks like it's just 6 up for Shrike here, and then he goes into a couple of salvagers there. He does move his base runner into the middle there. Gonna find those LEVs coming at him, so he's got that scouting information actually without even having to send the probe, which is pretty lucky for him, I guess I'd say. He tries to set up a turret here. This is actually something I definitely wouldn't do. If your opponent's paying attention, he can target the turret and he will actually kill that off. Looks like Frosty, however, has actually given the attack command onto the base runner, so his units are not going to automatically retarget onto that base runner. Oh, and these two guys crucially here just sort of standing still as well, whereas they need to be putting in the damage output already. He will clear out this turret though if he properly... Oh, well, I don't know actually. His turret doing a lot more work than it really should. Oh dear. Okay, so I stand corrected. It was clearly a good move from Shrike to put the turret down. Holy goodness. I mean, how many LAVs is that this you just killed? 8? No, you're joking. Oh dear, and Shrike at this point not even going to get AV fabrication. That's obviously what you would expect to see, but I guess he knows what a slaughter he's delivered onto his opponent there. Before AV fabrication, Power Reserve 2 gets started, so clearly he's going to go for some kind of a carry rush. And another turret gets set up. It's been a whole minute since the last one died, apparently. Or was set up, that is. So he's able to set up another turret here. Oh my gosh, Shrike, you monster. Wow. As well as another base runner getting queued up. So I think I know what's going on here. He's probably going to go for a carrier rush strategy. He can't just go straight into rails though because of the things and whatever going on. The LAVs streaming out on the map there. So he's going to have to do something to deal with the LAVs first. But that other base runner is kind of the tell there. And then I assume we'll see Railgun fabrication soon. Although I'm not sure exactly when. Probably better for him right now though is to... Base runner inventory, what the heck? Anyway, probably better for him right now is to get a... AV setup here. And actually, I was going to say this before, it's kind of a little too late now, but he probably shouldn't have been moving that base runner out across the map there because the only force he had in the middle was this turret here. So I mean, once the turret gets cleared out, he's not going to be able to push out, obviously, with that base runner. Or, sorry, what am I trying to say? When the turret's not in the position, he's not going to be able to push out with the base runner. He knew that those AVs were out there. LAVs, sorry. So yeah, that extraction probably could have gone through if he was just a little bit more patient, waited for like an AV to pop or something like that. Meanwhile, Power Reserve 3 on the way. But base runner inventory is an interesting pick here because obviously there's only one reason why you get base runner inventory. Just get turrets out, right? I guess he is still planning on it. Oh, okay. I was like, something was going weird with the UI there. Sorry, I just went silent for a second. No, I could see the rally points here were just like fading away, like after I click on a carrier, like that. You see, it just like fades away. I was like, what's going on there? But no, I had alt turned off, so I couldn't see health bars either. Anyway, curious thing right here: a support cruiser will actually fend off a single LAV. It'll take some time, but it'll eventually kill it. Whereas, you know, a single sand skimmer will eventually kill the support cruiser. Oh no, again, nothing being sent to protect this base runner here, so Shrike gonna lose a second without the extraction. Oh, and he gets stuck on the little crevice here as well. Yeah, word to the wise when you're on the shallows: go wide with the carrier or go around that way. Like if you come this direction, you always get stuck on that stupid little crevice there. So it's a bad setup. Turret actually getting set up here, but LAV's had high ground on it. They kill it pretty quickly. That turret does go down. Fighter and gunship down on the way for Shrike as well as for FrostyTeeth, so it looks like maybe he's backing away from this kind of carry rush strategy, but base runner inventory is still out. I mean, I'm wondering if he's going to try to use that, because like I said, there's only one reason why you go base runner inventory, that's to get those turrets. But, you know, they do seem to sort of be... I don't know, it seems like the game's kind of past the point where the turrets are really going to be terribly effective, so... Carrier production upgrade just now coming out for Shrike as well, so it looks like finally he's going to play sort of more of a normal game here, but FrostyTeeth, virtue of losing all of those LAVs and going support cruiser second, is clearly behind in economy still at this point, as this base here pretty much filled out all the way. Then it's going to be nice for Shrike, as he's basically on 3 base already. If Fighter and Gunship comes out for both players, I mean, which it is, right? But if they start producing it at about equal times, I would expect FrostyTeeth is the one who loses that fight. But he does actually have a pretty significant time lead, doesn't he? You can just tell, though. I mean, look at his economy here. He's got actually quite a lot of money. Never mind. I eat my words. But the point is, he won't be able to produce as many strike fighters as Shrike, clearly. Who's getting Power Reserve 4 now? And double base runner, what a mad lad. I don't know what he's going for with this, but the thing is, actually, if he doesn't make any strike fighters, though, like now the time difference is pretty big between him and FrostyTeeth here. That could actually really be problems for him. He needs to get anti-air at least, if not strike fighters of his own. And he should maybe be able to tell that this is coming from his opponent too, because you could just clearly, you know, you don't see anything else. So I mean, like, you gotta wonder, like, where's his money going? Often that's kind of the tell for an air transition. Sorry if you hear a little bit of static. I'm hearing that coming from my end every now and then. I think I have my speakers like slightly disconnected or something. 5 strike fighters launch. 5's the magic number. You know that means it's going to be a support cruiser kill here. Not on the AV. No, no, no. Oh. It only works if you micro them pretty well to avoid erroneous fire. He should really launch the other one now. Looks like he is going to, but Shrike is launching also. Still, though, I think FrostyTeeth does kill a support cruiser here, or at least he can fight off the strike fighters first if he wants to. No, support cruiser is going to go down actually without the micro, I guess. So maybe it's not as important as I had thought. So that's a really good pick there for FrostyTeeth. Even if he loses quite a few of the strike fighters on the retreat here, he should still be pretty happy with this. And now I wonder if there's an anti-air turret getting get set up here, but not that I see. And actually, Shrike going to get a little bit aggressive here. He tries to actually attack the eco of his opponent. Frosty's not punishing this, but he could with his strike fighters there. But yeah, Shrike losing his support cruiser is definitely going to slow down any, you know, rush he's planning here with the carrier. I don't know if you could even call it a rush at this point, though. But Frosty going for some base runner production as well here. Of course, he doesn't have base runner inventory, so he's got no chance, right? This is just so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this wouldn't work in A-Game's patch probably because the RU cost of the base runners. But an AA turret gets set up now. So I guess that's the anti-air that Shrike is going for. And I mean, to be fair, with base runner inventory, you can kind of get away with this. You should really set down another one though off of this base burner too. Are these guys gonna get away? Wow. Frosty getting a little lucky there. But one thing I will say, it's really good of Frosty that he picked up this this artifact right here, because clearly his opponent's going for some kind of cheese here. Well, like once you see 4 base runners out, you kind of know what's going on. And if you let your opponent kind of get away with this, you can have some serious problems. So he almost picked up the middle base runner too, or middle artifact too. But at any rate, he's not allowing his opponent to get like a cheap extraction victory because he's also competing for those artifacts, which is good. And Frosty coming in here right after his opponent has just dumped a bunch of missiles onto the AV. That's actually perfect. And yet, strangely, he gets punished for it. I don't know. Maybe the anti-air turret post picked up on him there. But that's actually a really good move. That's definitely what I want to see. Turret is in position here, actually, for Shrike to try and protect these base runners. And I love the sound of the turrets in the shallows, too. That's like, they resonate so much. And that really resonates with me. But anyway. Scoreline is 1-1. Frosty is starting to get missile battery fabrication, actually. I'm not sure exactly why. I don't think he needs that. He just needs to... Well, I mean, now he does. He just lost a whole bunch of strike fighters there. Really what he needs is to keep the strike fighters here in more of a defensive role and use them as his anti-air. But I guess that can be a scary prospect in some ways. So many turrets. Oh my gosh. Anyway... I did actually hear there were some turret shenanigans in this game before I played it, and I'll tell you why after the series is finished. But Shrike looking like he's about ready to get Power Reserve 5 up here, and that's gotta have been his play this whole time. He's definitely taking his time with it. It's actually like the 11.5-minute mark. I really don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was kind of hyping him up at the beginning as like, you know, this really like emerging player, pretty soon gonna be top tier or whatever. This is just like strange, but maybe he's doing it because he feels pretty confident in the matchup. I don't really know. We'll see. For Frosty, meanwhile, it's gonna be battlecruiser fabrication actually, as well as the damage upgrades to these LAVs coming out. But Shrike is getting Power Reserve 5. This is a common problem to see, by the way, with anti-air turret posts, that they only work if you can defend them on the ground. This AV just gonna shoot these up here. These things are not cheap, you know. And the turret, like, the turret wall going to begin to expand here. This is why actually battlecruisers make sense in this position, but you could also do the same thing with a bunch of railguns, because even though they're not terribly accurate against the turrets can't fight back at all. You will actually kill them eventually. Oh, you know, this is a place where strike fighters can actually do their job. This is all ground turrets here. No anti-air turret posts getting set up just yet. But a whole bunch of LAVs come in too, that's gonna... Actually, I mean, that could even be a threat to the air units, honestly. But yeah, definitely these anti-air turret posts going down. And so yeah, oh yeah, look at that. I mean, LAVs can do a thing, you know. Looks like the anti-air turret post took out the other strike fighters there. Yeah, Frosty just being a little too, I don't know, not careful enough with those strike fighters, sorry. He's gonna lose them all, actually. And now the base runner set of some 2 ground turrets, but strike fighters in the air. This is gonna be tricky. There's a lot of potential here for damage to be done by these strike fighters, although they're just kind of docking, it seems, because they weren't being used at all, so they just head back to base. Obviously not what I'd really like to see. Another extraction could be on the way here from Shrike, but he's I don't know, he's not moving it off toward the extraction zone just yet. He actually does start losing some strike fighters as well to these LAVs. A lot of LAVs, 2 base runners in the area, that will kill off strike fighters pretty quickly, so 3 of them go down there. But the thing is, Power Reserve 5 is finished now. There's only 2 railguns on Frosty's side, and even if he's already producing battlecruisers, this is going to take a long time to get here. So there's a really serious window here where Shrike could just win the game off of a carrier push in. I think he's waiting for Power Reserve 6. I don't think he should. I mean, he saw with the strike fighters what was in his opponent's base. He saw 2 railguns, that's it. And actually, he probably didn't click on them to check, but they don't even have mag accelerator. So if he just kind of charges in there, I think that's game over, but he doesn't seem to know it. Power 6 is on the way, though. Power 6 is done. Cruise missile gonna launch before you go in. So he's just launching the cruise missile blind at the eco. That's a really strange move. I would just try to go in with the carrier and he can kill everything for you. You don't need the cruise missile to handle that kind of stuff. But another artifact extraction comes down. 5 power in the range. I mean, this is what, like 2,000 meters? That's like 100 meters less than the range of railgun, which is often what I've said is really the problem with carrier power in the end of the day. I mean, you know, he just wins if he just clicks over here. I guess he doesn't totally know that yet, but that would be crushing. BC's, meanwhile, not at all on the way for Frosty. Oh, yeah, not at all. I mean, they all cost like 800 CUs or something, so it's going to be a while before he gets that. And with his main base getting wiped here too, his CU income's going to be trashed. This is a really nice run-by of LAVs from him. Using actually the speed boost to get around faster, rather than using it in combat, that's a pretty valid use here. Just don't fall back with the carrier. Shrike, no, battle, no. No, you don't need more firepower, just get in there. Gonna use the strike fighters on this? That's actually not gonna work, right? I mean, look at how fast they chew up this AAV, let alone strike fighters. They're gonna kill those things in seconds. Okay, but he does start to move forward with that carrier. Second support cruiser gonna go down, though, and I assume he's gonna lose the third as well. So, I mean, Frosty is gonna clear out his opponent's entire base here, but I think Shrike is just gonna clear out his carrier, which is probably more impactful, I'm sure you can tell. I think the thing to do as Shrike here is prioritize the railguns, definitely. Carriers do kind of a weird, like, non-focus fire thing, but if you tell them to attack like that, then they will. And there's a bit of armor on these, so I would actually power down the range by 1 and put up the weapons by 1. But, I don't know, I feel like he doesn't need to back away here, actually. Like, he could actually get away with this push if you just, drive a little further in and target the rails, because there's only 4 of them, which is really just not much. Another cruise missile takes out another base from FrostyTeeth. And what the heck, it looks like he's actually stabilized the attack on his eco. I can't believe that Sport Cruiser's not dead. The Battlecruiser fabrication finishing for Shrike as well. He's got enough of a bank that he could get them soon, but it's still going to take a little time. LAVs come stringing in here. Missile battery needs to fire a mortar down, I would say. This is still a little tricky. Looks like the railguns are going to go down. And Shrike has gotten mag accelerator. He's gotten armor 2 now on the rails. So Shrike definitely should have pushed in earlier. Like, his attack was a lot stronger if he did. But I think he's still in a really good position to just kill off this carrier right here. And obviously the strike fighter is going to get sort of hammered on by the missile battery and the anti-air turret post here, but all they need to do at this point is just dump damage, I guess. And the damage output of this carrier is much higher now that Power 5 is on the weapons, but I gotta say, there's not many things more impressive looking than a carrier with Power 5 in the range. It's just like chain guns spewing all across the map, you know? Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of questionable play from Shrike, but I guess it pulled it off in the end. Just look at all of the turrets. I mean, the fact that he got base front inventory at all tells you this is already kind of a strange game. Oh, this poor cruiser did die. I mean, I don't even know. This is a weird game right here, but it worked out for him. It worked out for him. Let's go on to game 2 here. Going to be on Kartova. Man, what the heck is Shrike going for? I don't know. It worked out, so it's fine. I guess maybe he was just sort of playing around, you know what I mean? But, well, he did get the win. That's all you need, I guess. Kartova, of course, advertising itself as a 6v6 or 6-player map, that is, but that's not true. It is in fact also a 1v1 map. Gotta be a very big one though. I think we all talked about this, or I've talked about this earlier. Maybe you saw my video where I try to, like with Frosty and I are testing out putting movement blockers on the Kartova here to see if like you could move on top of it, and it actually works properly on this side here, but on this side they go like through the model, so it's not very good. That would be really cool though if you could drive on top of the Kartova here, and I think it would make this map fairly popular because it'd be kind of a cool thing. Whoa, my camera just like freaked out there.
Construction resources exhausted. Proceed to rally point. Secure location marked.
Man, it's cool looking too. They did a good job with this game, seriously. Anyway, moving on to the strategies of the players here, though. FrostyTeeth this time looks like he's going to be making a... What? Okay, so what he's done... Yeah, I really don't like this, but... What he's done, actually, is rushed to the base runner inventory, retired his early game base runner, and built another base runner here. So that he can get turrets out faster. He's got a second one on the queue, you see that? I'm not a fan. Especially on a really big map like Kartova. This is only good, like, if you are getting rushed by, like, Conf blast drones. Like, there's no other reason to do this. Shrike, meanwhile, looks like he's doing the same thing, 6 up into another base. And I'm curious to see if he's going to be playing similar to last game with a lot of turrets and stuff or not. But Shrike checking out his base here, I don't think he saw the base runners, or else he would have taken some damage on that probe. So he's just sort of checking it out, seeing what there is to see out there. As Frosty moves out across the map with these two base runners. The thing is, like, base runner inventory, it removes that initial cooldown time from the base runner, right? Which means that, you know, when your base runner spawns in the game, he can't put down a turret for, like, I think it's 2 minutes or something like that. And that's obviously because actually the turret rush used to be really strong versus Coalition. Or sorry, versus everyone from Coalition is what I mean. And so if you get base runner inventory, you remove that initial cooldown time from when a base runner is produced, but like the real problem there is that you can't make a turret in that first 2 minutes of the game. But like, this is Kartova. 2 minutes have already passed, look at that. So unless you already were setting down a turret, like, you might as well have just built these two base runners, and you'd be, like, built one base runner rather than two, saved yourself some money, and you'd already, actually be putting down a turret from the second one anyway. So, this is just, I think very clearly flawed here, but we'll see. Maybe Frosty's got a plan here. Double turret comes down on the extraction zone. It looks like he's gonna start picking up, or on the artifact spawn area. It looks like he's gonna start picking some of those up, want to extract them. Shrike, meanwhile, getting LAVs and getting their damage upgrades here, so I mean, I guess that could actually turn out nicely for FrostyTeeth, because the turrets are a fairly nice counter to the LAVs, but that's the thing about static defense, though, is it's only in one location here in the middle, or I guess two in this case, but once Shrike figures out where they are, you can just go around them, and things could get bad. So, I really don't know about this player. This looks very suspicious from Frosty. Highly suspect. Yeah, just more LEVs coming out of Shrike. AV fabrication on the way for Frosty, that's good for him. And the LEV is going to begin to move out here from Shrike. The other thing about turrets is that they have a very high damage output but very low health, so once they die, they're kind of like... Well, I mean, once they die, that's every unit, but... turrets die quickly once they get into combat, and so once you can fight back against the turret, you'll kill it really fast, right? So the thing is, actually, against LAVs, they perform well, but against groups of LAVs, they do not perform well. Same thing with Sandskimmers, right? Once you can get on top of the turret and kill it, it's really kind of useless. Once you kill it, it's useless. I keep saying that. Once you can kill it, you kill it fast, and that makes it useless. You get what I mean, though. In fact, coming in here with the boost, that's definitely the right move. Gonna take out this turret with only 2 losses, I would expect, right? That's kind of what I'm talking about. There's another turret up, actually. So he's gonna go up to this one now. But see, this is what what Frosty should have been doing last game, right? You need a lot of turrets before you can, yeah, you need a lot of turrets before you can deal with an LAV ball like this. But he's gonna see a 4th turret up and be like, what the heck? And probably this will prompt him to try to counterplay against the turrets. Vehicle damage 2 is on the way for him. Yeah, but all he needs to do is build up a ball of them. Once he figures out it's all just like turrets, he just goes and strikes the main. I think that's what he's doing here. This turret can also give him a little bit of grief, but he'll take it out before too long. And I have a bad feeling for Frosty this is going to turn out poorly when he gets to the main and discovers there's really no defense there. Shrike, meanwhile, seeing these turrets up, gonna wonder if there's another, like, air transition coming out of it, so missile battery fabrication's on the way for him. Obviously, he did lose the support cruiser to the air units last game, so this is a very wise choice, actually. It's not going to be what Frosty's going for, though. Instead, it's going to be battle cruisers very early off of 2 base. I'm not sure about that either. So 2 LAVs go down to the turret, but then it gets cleared out. That's kind of, again, what we were expecting. And now I imagine he's just going to drive into his opponent's bases there, and he'll wreak havoc, really. Missile battery coming out blind here for Shrike. Again, like I said, not probably a bad idea. This is a really big map, so air is probably going to be used by someone. And, you know, you haven't seen anything from your opponent but turrets, so it's a fairly good guess that he's going for air of some kind. Shrike backing up here to try to fight the AAV. You want to just go into your opponent's base, yeah. Unfortunately for Shrike, he's going to find that there are AAVs here, so I guess they got in position. Again, like going back to fight that AAV lost him some pretty precious time. He could actually already be damaging the support cruiser right now. But he's just going to stick it anyway, and he's going to try to fight these AAVs here. And he can kind of get away with this. There's obviously no armor upgrades from Frosty's side. Smoke is only going to buy a bit of time, maybe a bit of health too, so he can heal up on off that support cruiser there, but... Shrike, you bad boy. I think he's actually trying to get out of range of the AAV, but doesn't matter. It does go down, and support cruiser are going to start getting chewed on now. And Shrike has got railgun fabrication too, so he can obviously produce rails to deal with his opponent's AAVs that they push on him. And he's actually getting another carrier production upgrade, which signifies, you know, if you're going to go 3-base production off of 2 bases, or triple production off of 2 bases, the only thing you're going to be making is like LAVs, right? So clearly he believes that this strategy is going to bring him to greatness as well, and I wouldn't doubt it. He's cleared out a lot of these turrets in the middle. He can come in here with these LAVs and take out the base runners, I think. Frosty would be expanding onto 3-base, but he just lost one of those support cruisers, so he has to back away. And looks like the LAV is going to be used to hunt down the extractions here. Turret starts getting set up, that's not going to go anywhere. Like, it's taken out pretty much immediately. Remember, even in game 1 where it worked for Shrike, I was saying he shouldn't be putting down turrets there because it's really easy to deal with him. And Frosty looks like just trying to steal his opponent's strategies here or something. He's getting power reserves up now, moving out with that carrier. And I imagine the idea here is that he's got a battle cruiser in the womb, if you will, ready to pop out pretty soon, but I don't know, dude. I mean, because you're only at power reserve 2 right now. You do have 2 artifact extractions, but you're going to be denied these ones here. And then your opponent already has got railguns, so once he discovers that this is what's happening with the carrier move out, you're probably going to be in trouble. Not to mention, you know these LAVs, once they finish here, their next obvious objective is to head back onto the bases and start just ripping things to shreds. So, yeah, Mag Accelerator actually coming out blind for Shrike, which is really convenient for him. This is going to be really bad, I think, for Frosty. These LAVs just kind of need to mobilize themselves, and then you saw what the AAVs did about them earlier. It was not much. And things could get really bad here for FrostyTeeth. LAVs have quite a large vision range as well, so they're going to see this pretty early. I don't think they're going to miss each other. Oh my gosh, I think they are, actually. Yeah, he sees it now. But similarly, Frosty sees the railguns now. It's going to be a little bit worried about that. The thing is, there are 6 of these guys right here, so what Frosty is banking on is that dropping the battle cruisers on his opponent is going to do him some, do some real damage for him. I am not so sure myself. Especially because the second one's dropping right here, so it's still out of range of the railguns. It's still going to have to make an approach. That's got to be... No, that's not a 3rd battle cruiser. That's like an LAV or something. Yeah, so I don't know. This is not going to turn out well, I don't think. The eco damage on the other side is absolutely crippling. Oh, apparently there was a synchronization error and we left the game. Well, that's unfortunate. I wanted to see what was going to happen there. Let's just go ahead and look it up on Battlefy, though, because I'm pretty sure we knew at that point Frosty was, done for. Let's just go ahead and have us check, then. Do-do-do-do-do. Because the thing is, if someone Alt F4s out of the game, actually that will happen too. You get a sync error. Yeah, 2-0 for Shrike. Yeah, so he did win that one. So I think maybe Frosty just rage quit right there. Because the outside information I knew that I mentioned at the beginning that I wasn't going to say until the end is that FrostyTeeth actually, he thought that the tournament apparently was running the patch, but when he discovered after this game, which was the first that he played, that it wasn't, he was like, oh, I mean, I don't even really want to play this, let alone, you know, getting turret rush right here really sucks. So he actually chose to rage quit out of the game at this point. And so he has actually forfeited the rest of the games in the group stage, so everyone else wins a 2-0 against him as well. That'll put him at the bottom of the lower bracket. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time.